contracts are in place, our members will be taken care of. That's the important thing.
And that's the answer to a question a lot of people had after news of the merger between two grocery chain giants. Good evening. I'm Shira Matsuzawa. Thank you for joining us here on the News at 10. And we are, of course, talking about Albertsons and Kroger. They are in the process of merging to become an even larger supermarket powerhouse. Kroger is buying Albertsons for $24.6 billion. News Channel 7's Jude Binkley has been talking to different experts about this since rumors started about the deal yesterday. Jude, what did you learn today?
Well, Shira, these two rivals brought in over $200 billion in sales last year, and merging will help them compete with their even larger rival, Walmart. Kroger will be buying Albertsons at $34.10 per share, and they'll also take on $4.7 billion of Albertsons debt.
This is the two top dogs outside of Walmart. So I think that and Kroger by itself is so dominant, and Albertsons is no small player at all. These two together would be really difficult to say that it was good for the consumer.
Albertsons is the fourth largest grocery seller in the U.S. by market share. Kroger is the second largest, and they're also the parent company of stores like Fred Meyer and Ralph's. Together, they have about 5,000 stores and more than 700,000 employees. But what about those employees?
For our members, it doesn't really mean anything. So our contracts are in place. So their wages, their retirement, their health care is all secure. That is going to be unchanged. Most important thing to remember is regardless of what happens with a merger like this, which can take months and months and months and months, our members will be taken care of.
Miles Ashaya works for United Food and Commercial Workers, the union that represents both Albertsons and Kroger employees.
It is a very heavily unionized sector in our jurisdiction, at least.
The deal will face heavy scrutiny from antitrust regulators, especially with food prices up 11.2% in the last year. When deals are over a certain size, companies must file a pre-merger notification with the government. Regulators would look for areas where the grocery giant doesn't face any competition.
Ultimately, the question of if the parties were to merge, would there be competitive harm to consumers in that market in the form of either higher prices or lower quality or less innovation?
There are three ways an antitrust investigation could end. Regulators could find no competitive harm and choose not to challenge the deal. They could outright challenge the deal or have companies get rid of certain assets where they compete. In anticipation of this, the company said they would be spinning off as many as 375 Albertsons stores into a standalone company.
So in cases where the merging parties come into a potential investigation proposing structural remedies like divestitures, there are two likely kind of potential outcomes. Either the investigating agency could accept the divestitures as proposed, and then the case would just result in a settlement, or the investigative agency could find that competitive harm is still likely, even with the proposed divestitures, at which point they could try to block the deal.
As for the Albertsons brand that was homegrown in Boise, Kroger's CEO said the company would decide which stores change their name based on each market. But changes are still likely to come.
I think you're going to see, if they do get this through the antitrust, you're obviously going to see some different things within the stores.
Now, combined, the stores would control about 13% of America's grocery industry, according to J.P. Morgan. And that's still far behind Walmart's 22%. If it gets through regulation, the deal is expected to close in 2024.
Yeah, a lot of interest on this merger. All right, thanks, Jude.